All right, Brent Porcio, TopVelocity.net. I'm going to be breaking down Brent McMillion's BioMetrics, or 3x BioMetrics here from his 3x Velocity camp. So we'll take him out of leg lift. Going to be looking at before leg drive. You can see here, big lean with the trunk. Definitely too much. If you see the green check, we're already at a 61 hip abduction. So maxed hip abduction, and the drive leg force vector, that ankle to knee, is still very vertical. So if we overlean the trunk back, we can hit into range in the abduction, and then we're stuck. And then it's hard to move out of this, which is becoming a big problem. Even though holding towards the knee, externally rotated really well, just too much lean, causing it, it's going to make it really hard to get out of this movement here. As far as, let's see, posture, if we look at, we'll look at pelvis, chest. Sorry, this thing is not, there we go, pelvis, chest. All right, we can see the pelvis is back 29, and then the trunk is back 26. So that's that big aggressive lean. Forward tilt, forward to 27. I wouldn't say so much forward, it's just that too far back position. The arm is also even going even farther back. So let's see how that comes out of a leg drive. So you can see the lift leg doesn't really have anywhere to go. All he can do is extend. So it extends. Back leg just kind of turns over, maybe a little drive there, and hits front foot. And trunk stays closed. It was hard to get a lot of power out of that movement. So you're not seeing a lot of power going forward. At front foot strike, you see the trunk is still leaning 17 inches, which is good. But the issue is the power component. So let's look at the sequencing. We'll see how it's sequencing. We can see here looks like a lot of it's going together. So if we look at, there's the glove side. Glove side's pulling first. I don't like to see glove side first. I like to see hips first, which is the green or the red. And then the green comes later, and I want to see the blue glove side with that. So we can see here this hip and shoulder is really is peaking pretty close to each other, and we can see a lot of drag out of that arm. So because of that hyper abducted position with the back leg to trunk, couldn't get out of that position, so everything's kind of spinning together out of that movement. So the sequence is not separated that well. At front foot strike, good front leg, but look at pitch release. You don't even get the forward trunk tilt. So even though leaning back so far kept the trunk back, there was no power behind it to carry the trunk forward. So if we look at, forward tilts on it, the trunk is only 28 degrees forward, when you're going to see more like 45, 50 on a lot of, high velocity guys. This pitch is somewhere above upper 80s, and you can see, in leg drive, there's about a minus 11, or there's 11 degrees of hip to shoulder separation, and then when we hit front foot, we're only at 20 when we should be somewhere 40 plus. And then we're quickly sinking up into pitch release. Good finish though, like I said, front leg got extended, even though because it was landing pretty extended. And I'd say let's look at the trunk position at the end. 36 degrees, so it did get excessive, so it did have to kind of spin off at the end due to the lack of power. But I think it's as simple as that. I mean, we just got to go back and fix. We got to go back and fix this trunk position just before leg drive. So if I was to draw this out, the hip position needs to try to be as neutral as possible. So if this was the hips, and then the trunk, could be starting to load back a little bit, maybe in this posture here, and then the arm is going back at that point. But definitely can't be over here. There's a difference of, if this was where the trunk needs to be, this is where it is right now. I mean, this is too far. We got to get that trunk back up, and then this hip down here won't be so abducted, so the force vector here can go down, and then we can get some power out of this leg to help carry the trunk forward at the end. That's pretty big piece. I think that's going to change a lot of things for Brent. And hopefully we can get power now, more power up the trunk, more trunk dynamics going forward, more velocity at the end.